Greetings once again to everyone. Welcome to my WordPress full site editing from almost scratch video, and man, that is a mouthful, and I will explain that in a minute or two. I've been sort of stuck on getting my website redesign done, but putting it off for far too long. Procrastinating, plain and simple. My own fault, really, as I did not set a timeline when I started the project, and other things just kept pushing it back. Anyways, I went and built a virtual machine specifically for designing and testing WordPress sites. So I guess it's time for me to forge ahead or something like that. In the past, I've always designed WordPress sites based on the classic theme model. Writing your own HTML, writing your own CSS, writing, modifying, testing a bunch of PHP code, dabbling in a little JavaScript on the side. Yeah, the good old days, man. This time around, I'm jumping into the WordPress full site editing tool with both feet, and I should note I've never used this before. Yes, I'm really going to try and create my new site theme without writing a single line of code. Can it be done? We'll see. So stick around and see how badly I can butcher this. It usually takes a few attempts and tries and false starts before I get my feet under me with something new, well, at least new to me. But if one never tries, one never learns or improves. So onward in the jaws of victory or defeat, whichever comes first. Okay, a couple of housekeeping items before we get started. I'm assuming you have watched my previous two videos in this series. If you have not, you really should. For those who did watch, you will see I've done some additional configuration, added a few more applications to my virtual machine that is serving as my WordPress development environment. I gotta stop with these long sentences. Can't help tinkering with the stuff anyways, so I don't plan on jumping into a whole configuration setup thing. Unless some of you are really interested in that sort of stuff, want all the gory details, I could do something, but I'm not planning on it. While messing around with the configuration, I did note a rather serious issue with how WordPress was displaying its sites, or my site. Accessing it locally from inside the VM using localhost was fine, but when I accessed it from outside the VM, some graphics would not display, some PHP wouldn't work properly. And on top of that, when I was down at my brother-in-law's place, I could not even get the site to load remotely or locally. I did trace the problem to how the web server was being accessed. I've been playing around with localhost and an actual IP address, while WordPress really wanted a domain. To be clear, if you're running on a fixed server instead of a VM on a laptop which you're carrying around with you, then this is probably not going to be an issue for you. The fix was to modify the WordPress settings under the General tab, WordPress address and site address specifically. To point to an actual domain instead of localhost or an IP address, this could be a real domain or it could be a local domain like local.home.arpa for actual local domains you're supposed to use. I don't want to get into that argument here. Does not matter, it just needs to be a domain. Then I updated the host computer host files. Host files on the host computer, host files. Either way, it doesn't sound right. Anyway, the host files on the host computer to associate the domain name with the IP address. On Linux, the host file is normally found at etc/hosts, while I believe on Windows 11, it's at C Windows System 32 drivers etc hosts or something like that. If you go to another network, all you have to do is update the IP address in the local host file to get WordPress up and running again. Since I'm making every effort to go the no-code route, I will be installing a WordPress plugin, specifically Create Block theme plugin. I will be using this plugin to create a blank full site block theme template. One other piece of housekeeping, I did have some issues downloading WordPress plugins. The reason for this was the ownership of the various files and folders in the WordPress directory. Having been playing around with this and tinkering, I had a couple of different folders and files with different owners. I fixed this using the sudo change owner or CHOWN with a capital R for recursive and www data for user and group. This is on a Debian system and then the WordPress folder. This corrected the issue. Now, on with the show. All right, let's get things going here. We'll kick off by launching Oracle's VirtualBox Manager and then launching our virtual machine. Then we want to shift to full screen mode, and once we get into the virtual machine, you'll see I've added a graphical login terminal, which we didn't have last time. This is a Slim fork, which is a fork of Slim. I had to actually compile this one myself, as Slim is actually way outdated and this Slim fork is up to date. So anyway, we need to log in as a regular user, and let's go ahead and open the file manager first. I just want to check. I uploaded some graphics to this virtual machine. I just want to make sure they're here, and they are. Let's go ahead and kick on over to the browser, and we'll go to our login page. And once here, we need to go to plugins. Now, I've already installed the Create Block theme plugin, but if you want to install it, you need to go up to the top of the page where it says plugins, add new plugin. And then over on the right, type in your search word, create block or create block theme, and you can find the plugin there. You can download it, activate it, install it, and we're ready to go. So if we look at our installed themes, we see we got 3 of them. These are the ones that came with WordPress. It's 2024, 2023, and 2022. And if we look under the theme menu item, we see we have a new menu entry called Create Block Theme. Let's go ahead and click on that. And then we'll see Create New Block Theme. We'll fill out some basic information, theme name, just short description, author, and then create and activate block theme or blank theme. Create and activate blank theme. Okay. And here is our theme in the full site editor. Let's go ahead and jump out of this. And this is what the web page actually looks like with this blank theme. And if we go over to themes, you can see we've actually got our new theme active, and it shows up here. So it's the 4th theme. All right, let's exit here. I want to jump back into the file browser, and I want to see what was actually created here. Not that I'm going to modify it. Like I said, no code. I'm just curious. So we go to our WordPress themes directory, and we look in the themes, and we can see, okay, several folders and several files. Under parts, we've got footer and header. This all looks very familiar. This kind of reminds me of classic theme with the PHP stuff. And we can look at the header. Yeah, it's actually pretty decent code. I've had a lot of applications that write web code, give you horrible looking code. This is actually indented and white spaced very nicely. I appreciate that. Index is our template. Okay, and I can see where the footer and the header are put into this thing. Okay, and there shouldn't be anything in our style sheet other than the header, which has information about our theme name, author, various other stuff. Now, I've got a JSON file. That's one I'm not familiar with. Again, it looks fairly well laid out. I think I can sort of derive, just by looking at this, what it does. Content size, wide, okay. I see. Font family, yeah. And we've got a README file. Okay. So I think that's pretty good. It didn't create a lot of garbage stuff, and all the files it did create are pretty neat. Well laid out. I appreciate that. Onward now. Okay, let's go ahead and open our browser again and log in. And first thing I want to do is I want to upload the media to my media library. That should be fairly quick since we're all on the same machine. Good, done. Now we're going to theme, appearance theme. We're going to go to the editor, not theme. We're going to do appearance in editor. And on the left side here, we've got some various elements. Let's go ahead and select templates. There's our index template. Okay, and if we select template, we've got a side menu here. This is the side menu I want right here. It shows the header and the footer elements. And you see I've got on my header, it's highlighted on the main page. Okay, we click on that and it gives us some possibilities for the header here. I don't like any of them, but we've got possibilities for the header. Okay. Now what I really want to see is the left side menu. This is the one I playing around with this a little earlier that I really found most helpful in how a theme's put together. The center view, always it's like noisy and crowded to me, and I move things around. I can't get them to go quite where I want them to go for some reason, but that may be just me. But I found with this list view on the left side, it's very easy. We've got our various elements here, or site logo, or site title. Let's go ahead and add a site logo from our media library. And oopsie, I just picked the wrong site logo. Okay, let's see. Replace, that's it. There's my real site logo. Okay, and let's go out and see what this looks like now that I've added a site logo. Stay on page. Oh, forgot to save changes. Okay, review 2 changes, done. Save. And we can back out, and now we see what things look like. One step in the right direction, a lot more steps to go here though. Let's jump back into the full page editor and let's look at our structure here and think about how we need to change it. So the first thing I need to do is a background image. Now I've tried the image block before. It doesn't do exactly what I want. I've been doing some research. There's this block called cover, which basically sounds like a group with a background image. That's probably what I want. So we're going to select that and it shows up down there. Okay, at least it showed up. Now what do I want to do with it? Let's go ahead and take our site logo and drag it up to the cover group. Hey, okay, that's what I wanted to see. We can get rid of this paragraph now. Okay, we've got our logo over our background image. Cool. Let's go ahead and move the site title and the site tagline. Okay, now let's move the navigation. And let's back out a bit and see what we've got. Oh, got to save the page again. Okay. Well, see, that's closer. Not exactly there, but that's closer for what I want the heading to look like. Okay. One of the reasons with the group in the headings was because you can't really make adjustments to a heading since it's a template file. So let's see here. So we've got our group, and with our group, we can set the size. So we need to add something here. Why does it always come in as a paragraph? I don't know. Let's go click on it, and let's change it to a row. There we go. That's a row group, which means anything I put in should be lined up along the horizontal. So let's drag the site logo in there. And the site title, and hey, there we go. Now we just got to worry about the tagline. I think if I put that up there, I'll get 3 wide. So what I need is, let's look here. I need a column, no, stack. Stack sounds good. Okay, let's try the stack. This should stack things up and down. So move the title and the tagline, and hey, there we go. That's sort of what I'm looking for. I need to probably play with some sizes and things here, but yeah. Let's go ahead and save the page and take a look. Yeah, I think a little do some color. I think I need a margin or some padding, or adjust some centering, vertical alignment. Yeah, I think we're almost there. Okay, cool. Maybe this will be possible. All right, let's talk a little bit about what we did here. So this is our block editor or full screen editor. We've got two sidebars. On the right is a sidebar for whatever element selected. And on the left is a list view. There's also an outline, which I haven't really used yet. So this center part, this shows what your web page will look like, sort of, kind of, because you have all this additional block editing stuff in there. So for me, it can be a little confusing, and I need to, at some point now and then, pull back out and look at what the site actually looks like. Now over here on the left side, again, our list view, and basically the way this works is we have a bunch of groups embedded within each other. This is sort of like in classic theme, having divs within divs within divs, sort of the same thing it looks like here. So our header is the actual part of it's a theme part or a template part that's used by the template, which is index. And we put a group under that because as the header there's not a lot of editing you can do other than changing its content. And we can do a lot more editing with the group. A lot easier to determine a lot of display characteristics. And under the group, we have a cover, which is actually basically just a group with a background image. And then we used a row under the cover to line up our elements, the two columns basically. And then for our right-hand elements, we use the stack to turn them into two rows. So you've got on the left column, you've got our logo. Then on the right column, you've got two rows, one with our site title and then our tagline underneath. Now on the other side, the right side, we've got this is basically where you can adjust various characteristics of whatever your block you've got selected on the left. Right now we've got the header block selected, so that's what we're seeing items for. Okay, that's the basic interface for the block editor. Okay, that's it for this video. I set up a header. That's sort of what I intended to do in this video. Now I can move on to the rest of the site, add a sidebar possibly, some other images, things like that. We'll see how it goes. I have a feeling, and I'm going to have to do some research on this, but when I add a sidebar, I'll probably have to create that one myself. I'm hoping not. I'm hoping I can do it through the full site editor, but we'll see. I mean, it should be possible if it is a full site editor, and things like sidebars are pretty common items, but I hope you found this useful. Like I say, a lot of the WordPress tutorials I watched over the last couple of days, in some cases just left me confused. Once I got the whole list view thing figured out, everything sort of seemed to fall into place. But that goes with how I learn things. I just collect facts until they get to a critical mass, and all of a sudden I have an epiphany or a paradigm shift and I understand things. But that's just the way I learn stuff. So like I say, I hope this helped. Also, I got to say, oh yeah, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. I'm not sure when I'm going to get around to the next video, which is going to probably be on adding the sidebar. Once I figure out how to do that, I'll go ahead and do another video. So we'll see you then.